So next we'll move on to stem. After root we'll move on to morphology of stem. See dear students, there is slight difference between stem and shoot system. Stem and shoot system. There is small difference between stem and shoot system. Stem is the main axis above the soil level, main axis. Shoot includes stem as well as leaf and all other parts which grows on the stem, the branches, everything, totally called as shoot. As I told earlier, in seed there are two parts. One is radicle. Radicle develops into root. One more part called as plumule. Plumule develops into shoot or stem. Plumule develops into shoot system. This we have to remember. Second one. Stem or the shoot is positively phototropic. Positively phototropic means they grow towards sunlight. Positively towards phototropic, grow towards sunlight. Negatively geotropic. Generally they don't grow towards soil. So they are negatively geotropic. Third, coming to their function, they are the main axis of the plant body. Main axis of the plant body supports the entire shoot system. Then if they are green in color, they participate in the process of photosynthesis, and since it contains xylem and phloem, they help in the conduction of food and water. Now again same thing, though this is the main function, shoot or the stem modified to perform some other function. Let us see which are the other functions or the modifications of stem. Modification. In case of stem. First of all, modification for the storage of food. Some of the stem, they grow beneath the soil. We call underground modification of stem. They grow beneath the soil and they help in the storage of food. We can give example of potato, ginger, turmeric. So these all are some of the example. We can give best example of potato. Potato you have seen how swollen it is. It is rich with starch. And we consume this as one of the vegetables. It's our main food item because we consume starch from that. So this is the storage of food. This is one of the best modification of stem in case of plant. Second one, stem is modified to form thorn. Thorn, as in case of citrus in lemon. Okay, we can see that thorn. Thorn is, it acts as a defensive in function, so that the herbivorous plant should not come and eat or disturb that particular plant. Thorn. Third one, stem is modified into wire-like structure called as tendrils. Tendrils. We have seen some of the plants, some of the creepers like cucumber or watermelon and all those. There we can see some coiled wire-like structure. They help in support for the climbing of that creeper. That is tendril. So like this, even the stem shows different kind of what you call, that is modification. Now after stem, we will move on to leaf. We will move on to leaf. We know the main function of the leaf is to carry out photosynthesis because it contains green pigment. First of all, let us see how exactly a leaf will be. The structure of the leaf. Now, This part, this expanded part is called as leaf lamina or lamina. We can also call it as leaf blade. We also call this part as leaf blade. This center portion, this one, it is called as midrib. We call it as midrib. This is network of veins. These are veins. So veins and midrib, it contains xylem and phloem. Xylem is water conducting tissue, phloem is food conducting tissue. This is the tip of the leaf. We call it as leaf apex. This is the stalk of the leaf. This is stalk, S-T-A-L-K. This is the stalk of the leaf called as petiole. If the leaf is with petiole, we call such leaf as petiolate. We call such leaf as petiolate. Sometimes this petiole will not be there. Leaf lamina directly attaches to the stem, and at that time we call such leaves as sessile. Such leaves are called as sessile. Then in some of the leaf we see small leaf-like structure here, as in case of hibiscus, and these are called as stipules. These are called as stipules. I was speaking about these veins. Veins, the arrangement of veins inside the leaf blade is called as venation. It's called as venation. What is venation? Arrangement of veins and veinlets inside the leaf blade or leaf lamina. And there are two types of venation: parallel venation and reticulate venation. Parallel venation and reticulate venation. Parallel venation is seen in case of monocot, and reticulate venation is seen in case of dicot. What is parallel venation? You take a leaf of a grass or leaf of coconut. Okay, I am taking a part of this leaf. Okay, inside we will see venation which are parallel like this. By this we can understand the leaf is parallel and the leaf belongs to monocot. Reticulate means formation of network like. Okay, you take example of hibiscus, best example, hibiscus you take, or you take peepal tree, or you take banyan tree, or you take mango tree, or you take any kind of tree which is a dicot. There you will find venation like this. Like this. So this is midrib, we know. These are the veins, and veins branch like this. They will be branching. This type of venation is called as reticulate venation. Parallel venation and reticulate venation. Similarly, leaves are also classified as simple leaf, and compound leaf. Simple leaf and compound leaf. Simple leaf means only one leaf is formed, like this. This is stem. Okay, this is node. Here one leaf is formed. This is simple leaf. Hibiscus, mango, simple leaf. Compound leaf, there will be many leaflet like this. There will be one rachis. This is one leaflet like this. If leaves are arranged now, this type of leaf structure is called as compound leaf. So which example you can give? Neem, you know that, neem. If you take out one leaf of neem, there will be, these are called leaflets. This is not single leaf, these are leaflets. Here there will be only one leaf, single leaf. This is simple leaf, this is compound leaf. Thus leaves are of two types, simple and compound.